Processed and ticketed, they waited for their ship. They boarded in many parts of Europe and in many kinds of vessels, most to New York and some to other ports. But they had one thing in common. They were traveling steerage, and the steamship companies understood the profit in numbers. They began a journey that could last from a week to a month.
That was the last time it ever ran again. That was the last trip she made. She should have never made that one either.
For some, it would be a voyage without incident. For others, the crossing would provide days for which they were ill-prepared.
They gave us a tin plate with a fork and a spoon, a cup of soup, and that much bread, 15 days.
There's all one big home. I was in the cellar. There's little lights going on there all the time. Little lights. We were riding in the steerage, like animals.
You could see a lot of water, but we didn't see the sky. No sky.
To escape the throbbing engines and the odor of spoiled food, those with blankets came on deck for air.
She was sick all the time. People didn't know where the toilets were, and so they used it. It was a terrible life.
I prayed one night that that ship would go down. It was so horrible. It had to stop for a while. For some, you know, the waves was washing. I was very sick. I prayed it to go down.
There's only one thing in my mind. I wanted to get out of there and to come to America.
It was very, very early in the morning at daybreak. And we heard this tremendous rumble, which got louder and louder and louder. So my father and I, we dressed immediately and we ran out to the deck. And there were people of all denominations, some on their knees making the sign of the cross, Jews in their prayer shawls. As we were passing the Statue of Liberty, it was the first time I saw it. It was a great sight.
I knew this guy, that he was a young fellow, and he was coming from Russia. He was going to this country. And we were standing and looking, and we saw the Statue of Liberty. I says, what a statue, look how big it is. Here is the beautiful lady. He says, I was waiting all my life to get here, to see her. And I says, what beautiful lady? And he says, right there. You see how she's welcoming us? I turn around, look at him, and the tears are coming from his eyes. And I started to cry too. This is, you know, how you feel when you see something like that. That was in my mind all these years, and you can't forget things like that, you know.
Everybody was just waiting to get off that, standing waiting to get off that ship. You were just wondering where you were coming to or what was going to happen to you, you know, in your mind.
Still separated from the first class and cabin passengers who were processed by immigration officials on board, the immigrant from steerage waited yet another boat ride. This one from the Hudson River Pier to an island in the Upper Bay. Crowded into barges and ferries, they approached the place that had become a legend in their mind.
I couldn't get my eyes on that. It's great.
I was kind of glad to see Ellis Island as bad as it was. It was good to see any kind of land. It was.
According to the houses I left in my town, this was like, like a whole city. And I almost felt smaller than I am.
But when I came through these doors, I saw all these people there. I figured, well, I guess I'll have to stay here for good, probably, because all these people, what are they doing here? And nobody was happy. You don't know what's going to happen.
I had a coat and a dress and a pair of shoes. That's it.
One suitcase I had with me. And about $50, I guess.
My basket, my little basket, that's all I had with me.
You were lucky to have the one.
We had no other possessions but that. We had no baggage. We had nothing.
Nothing, except the clothes. We had nothing.
In this big, big room, very large room, and they called your name out. And when they called Galetta, my father came running through the turnstile, and he squatted on his knees with his arms outstretched. And the five of us ran into his arms, and we were kissing and hugging. We were so happy to be together. And he said, "We're all together now. We'll never be apart again."